The month of the wood sheep, July 10th through August 9th. Stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Bear.Of.Wands, Tibetan Astrology and Divination and other stuff that I decided to talk about. It's spiritual and stuff. So we are here now in my new house. I have a new setup that looks almost exactly the same, except for I think it's backwards. But otherwise, I'm still figuring out all the lights and I'm figuring out the sound and everything. So forgive me if the quality is not good. My beautiful microphone better be good enough, but we'll find out. Also, just the lighting. The lighting is just really messing me up. Get natural lighting. They say natural lighting makes everyone look beautiful. They say until you have a cloud. Then you have a cloud, then everything gets screwed up. So they're wrong. Or they're right. I mean, they're right, but they're wrong. Per usual, I have my handy dandy notes here, so forgive me if I'm looking down. The female wood sheep, as per usual during the time of Penno, our astrology is all jacked up. Just like last month, everything is in contradiction to the year's astrology. It's the year of the metal ox. This is the year of the wood sheep, wood goat, depending on where you are from the Orient, if you will. In general, the wood sheep is like a fun-loving, easygoing kind of energy. It's the kind of energy that makes everybody just kind of want to smooth things over and get along and not do a whole lot of fighting or arguing. It wants to sit in a group of people and tell jokes. You know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. So overall, this next month, it's going to be pretty good. It can be a relaxing month if you choose it. For people like me that always want to be trying to achieve some goal, that always want to be working towards something, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're trying to move up in the company that you work for, whether you're trying to just further your life and your health and your wellness, this month can be a trap, like an absolute it's real easy to just hang out with your friends and sit on the couch and stuff. So watch out for that this month. I am going to go over a bunch of different days that will be good to combat that energy. The wood sheep can very, very easily get caught in its like insecurities and emotions. So look out for those chances for your emotions to stop you from doing the things that you want to do. If there's something that you want to go out and get and you have that fear reaction, that insecurity, that the emotions flare up, whatever it is, look out for that over this next month, starting on July 10th. The year in general, like the metal ox energy is it's really logical and it moves forward, thinking more of like a yoking cow, how it pulls the plow down and it will steadily move forward and it will push itself ahead. Whereas the goat, I mean, if it doesn't feel good that day, it probably won't. It doesn't really want. If somebody's like, you shouldn't go over there, it's not going to fight with it. It's just going to be like, nah. I mean, I guess okay, that's fine. So it's really a butting of heads. So this month could really halt any sort of progress that you're trying to make. Again, whether it's spiritual, emotional, physical, health-wise, be aware of all that stuff. I want to go over a few specific days that I think everybody should look out for. Like last month, there's going to be a chunk here and a chunk there that's going to be a real rough patch. This one in particular, this upcoming month, will be July 12th, 13th, and 14th. Right after the month starts, we get a bunch of death days right in a row. And those can be really, really rough days. In my next video, I'm going to go into all of these terms that we use in Tibetan astrology. Like I don't really want to explain what they all are and what they do. If you're not a Tibetan astrologer, it's not going to do you much good. But I do want to help you to understand as I do these like astrological forecasts or whatever they are, and I use terms like bad moon phase or death day or deficiency or whatever these things are, I want to go into how we can use those to achieve what we want to achieve, how to use negative stuff to achieve a more positive life, to get to the places that we want to go. And I think there's going to be a prime example here right after the month starts on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. Those are going to be 3 death days in a row, and they end in a bad moon phase. Now, I don't know how that sounds to you, but when I hear 3 death days ending in a bad moon phase, I don't think of positive things. I don't think of happy-go-lucky running through the dandelions in the field. Like that's not how I think of that when I hear those words. But if used properly, it could be something like that. We could use the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, the death days, the ending days, to get rid of those like gnarly things that we don't want anymore, especially on the 14th, because the 14th is an ending day in a bad moon phase. So nothing positive should be undertaken. You're not trying to build a new relationship on a bad moon phase. What you're trying to do is get rid of the ones that are just rotting your soul. You want to, if you can be mindful on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, a great thing to do is to take those days, the 12th and the 13th, and begin the process of ending whatever that thing is, whatever you want to get rid of, whether it's a bad habit, whether it's a bad relationship, bad job. And if force must be taken, 14th is the great day, because it's a day of ending, but nothing positive should be undertaken. It's a good day for that more like aggressive, gnarly energy to come out, and for you to rip out those bad seeds that are just rotting everything else around it. On the 20th of July, we have a day that reflects this perfectly. It's both a day of great business and exchange and relating to others and advancing your career, but at the same token, it's a bad moon phase. So for someone who is business minded, it's perfect. Again, we think of bad moon phase, nothing positive should be undertaken. We think of that as like hide in a bunker, or like just don't do anything because everything's going to go bad. But not everything that is good is positive. If you're a business minded person, you can use the 20th to advance your career through rougher means. If you have business competition, if you have people in your business that are not behaving appropriately, if you are trying to achieve a goal, or you are trying to make something, and there are people in your life that are just destroying everything you got going, that's a great day to get real confrontational, to like really step up. And on top of that, it being a bad moon phase, people are more likely to show their true colors, their true motives, to do the gnarly shit that they really are trying to do. So those things will present themselves, and then because of that boosted energy, you will have the opportunity to do what you need to do, right? It's not a day to hold them and talk about their feelings. It's a day to rip their head off, right? You've been screwing up. You did wrong. You know what you did. Today's the day of reckoning, kind of like stuff. Don't go stabbing nobody or nothing. But I mean, do you, but don't do that. All in all, this next month has a real easygoing kind of energy. And I just wanted to give everybody some tools so that they can keep moving forward with the progress that they've been achieving throughout the whole year. Next, I have the I-ching reading. That's where I got a lot of the everything's going to be cool for the month kind of stuff. The I-ching it didn't only tell us about this next month, it told us about the following month. And I'm going to start off with that bit just because I don't know how to feel about all of it. But when I did the I-ching, the very first bit was about how fortune is coming. It is good fortune coming for the time period that we're talking about. However, in the 8th month, there will be misfortune. So July will be good. In August, it's not going to be so great. So yes, we're going to want to rest this month, and we're going to want to like hang out, because it's going to feel good. It's going to be a decent month for us to just relax for once. However, it is important that we are preparing ourselves, because in the time of Penno, things do not stay all right for very long. There's always a new thing around the corner that's just going to drag you down. Much later on in the I-ching, it actually said that comfortable approach brings misfortune, wise approach brings fortune. Basically saying, if we do take this month and we just relax and we just take it lackadaisically, and we are not progressing, we are not doing those things that we told ourselves we wanted to do. You're not doing those things, and you're just getting comfy and cozy and hanging out and laughing and shooting the shit till you run out of ammunition. You're not going to be prepared when the next month comes. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to give those snippets of time that would be helpful to people that are trying to break habits or get out of bad situations or better themselves in any way, right? It's important that we're keeping our mind towards the wise approach, towards keeping a logical, stable mind, because throughout the next month, and you've seen it a little bit before, there's more of a, what do I even call it? Because every time someone puts a name on it, it just gets all bastardized and weird. Like a woke perspective. People who are seeing mainstream ideas may kind of possibly be full of shit in that there's a bunch of evil people that are doing evil things. Like people are noticing that. A lot of what was considered conspiracy theories are becoming mainstream ideas. And so as we approach to the next month, wise approach brings good fortune. It is important for us to not allow those few ideas that have now become more mainstream be like the thing. Because as those become mainstream, a bunch of these shitty ideas are going to get tacked onto them, right? So we're going to have, yes, these few truths have seeped through into the public. However, the public eye is heavily manicured. So if these truths are seeping out, there's more to it. And there are things that are going to be attached to it that if we become lackadaisical, we are not going to notice that these other ideas are being siphoned in there through this one truth, right? It's kind of like a piece of bait that's being brought to those who are realizing that something's fishy. And that piece of bait is kind of leading them out of that area into where those who may control things see. Was that vague enough and still not vague enough at the same time? Yeah, my YouTube career is going to be really short. I'm telling you. I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube. I'm guessing at about 100 followers, so. Oh, we'll see how this goes. So with that, as we see people acknowledging these ideas, these truths, we are going to see people that originally we would have thought of as enemies, and we are going to start to see them as friends. Say you've been a lifelong Democrat. You are going to see Republicans who you start to agree with. And the lines are going to become blurred. The lines that we had originally thought were the important ones, right versus left, black versus white, cop versus hippie, like whatever the thing is, those lines are going to start to get real murky. We will see people allying themselves under truth. But for us to get there, we have to give up our gut reaction. In the changing lines, I want to read this to you. It said, isolated through opposition, one sees one's companion as a pig covered in mud, as a wagon full of demons. First he draws his bow against him, then one lays the bow aside. He is not a robber. Rain falls, good fortune comes. Basically saying, we see somebody who is an ally. And our first reaction to this person is that is a devil. That's a bad person because I'm right and they're left, or I'm left and they're right, or I'm black and they're white. Whatever your thing is, right? That's the devil. That's the devil thing. And as we are moving past a lot of this fighting junk that has happened, we are starting to realize the lines aren't as clear as we thought they were. The lines really are truth and not truth. It is not, I wear black shirts and you wear purple shirts. It is not, I wear blue and you wear red. It is not, like, whatever the thing is. And throughout this next month, those lines blur more and more to the average person. Obviously, what we will see on TV will always be your group and your group and your group, and your group is different than this group, and this one's more oppressed than this group, and this one's better than this group. We're always going to see that because it is easier to market to demographics than it is to market to individuals, right? So we as individuals will start to see those lines blurring. That was the changing line. I think the important part to keep our minds on is that comfortable approach, nothing furthers. Wise approach, good fortune. We need to make sure that over this next month, we don't just kind of ride with it and get comfortable and hang out and not work on progressing ourselves, because that's kind of what it feels like the energy of the month is going to be. And it's important that we don't get complacent over the next month, because the following month will not be as nice, will not be as easy for us, probably will not be as pleasant. Like I said, it specifically said, this is a quote, when the 8th month comes, there will be misfortune. So, I really enjoy being the bearer of bad news every single time. Every time I finish one of these, it was a pretty good one though. This one wasn't too bad. There was a bunch of it's going to be an easy month. It's going to be happy. It's going to be humorous. It's going to be, people are going to get along for the month. People are going to find friends. I mean, both in the I-ching and in the energies of the month, we have these. It's decent. It's decent. It's going to be good. It's going to be comfortable. Gonna turn to shit next month, but we got one. We got one. Isn't that something? I mean, God, I don't know. Next week, I'm going to be having a video, and it's going to be talking about these negative things in Tibetan astrology and how they might not be as negative as they sound. If we know how to use the energies as they come at us, we are able to move forward. We are able to not get tripped up by them. Just because there's steps up ahead doesn't mean you have to fall and bust your nose. You could just lift your foot up and step on the next step so that you can move forward, right? Yes, it's an obstacle, but it's an obstacle that helps you get to the next level. So that was an awesome metaphor. I hope you stuck around to the end to hear that one because I am super proud. I'll probably steal that for the next video I do next week. Check it out. Instagram, Facebook, podcast. We got a podcast. Life is but a dream. Tibetan Adventures in Tibetan Astrology during the time of Penno. That's the one. Me and Miss Tibetan Cures, Tara Perry, is my co-host, and we do awesome stuff and talk about awesome stuff. I will have the episode down there, the most recent episode. Instagram, Facebook, Bear.Of.Wands. Love you guys. Buy my shit. Peace.